Hey everyone. Please support what I do to help keep Greyhawk alive by subscribing to the channel. Also, please consider becoming a channel member to get early access to videos, exclusive live chats, quarterly adventure modules, and more. Thanks, and enjoy the show. So I was looking through the random encounter tables the other day, and I noticed an interesting anomaly in the mountains around the Sea of Dust, and that's what we're going to talk about today on Greyhawk Ragnar. So if you look at the glossography from the original gold box set, there's a bunch of uh, random encounter tables for different places. And if you look in the mountain range section, you'll find encounter tables for the Hell Furnaces and the Lordville Mountains and on and on and on. And one of them is for the Barrier Peaks, the Crystal Mist Mountains, and the Jotuns. Those are the big mountain ranges on the west side of the Flness. Some of them border along the Sea of Dust. And what's interesting in this is that there is a 3% chance, 36, 37, 38, will get you cavemen as an encounter. So a full 3% of any encounters you have in those mountain ranges are going to be with cavemen, which seems to be a bit of an anomaly. The same goes for the hell furnaces, where there's a 2% chance, 39 and 40 are cavemen. But the weirdest thing is in the Solhout Mountains and the Ulspru. The Solhout Mountains and the Ulspru are the ones further west that kind of separate. The Solhout Mountains are the ones that separate the Sea of Dust from the plains of the Paynims and the other Backlunish kingdoms. And the Ulspru is obviously in the middle of the Backlunish kingdoms, kind of branches off the Barrier Peaks. And for there, in the Solhout Mountains, the ones um, that border the Sea of Dust, there is a 20% chance that any random encounter you have is going to be using the Pleistocene conditions encounter tables. So, and that's saber-toothed tigers and woolly mammoths and cavemen and that kind, giant sloths, that kind of thing. Stone Age encounters basically, and that really to me is a hidden little gem, where we seem to have some sort of anomaly going on in there, combined with the cavemen that you find in adjacent mountain ranges. There's really something going on here, and it could be a couple of different things. It could be that the cavemen are like the remnants of the Sul inhabitants, and then the Backlunish inhabitants who were destroyed in the Twin Cataclysms. But that doesn't really make a lot of sense because, we know that they migrated, the Sul migrated eastward, and in my campaign southward. The Backlunish managed to rebuild to a certain extent, so there's no real idea of this sort of degeneracy in the sense that you see in Robert E. Howard's work of the history of Hyboria. Um, where a great king like the kingdom of Atlantis rises to great heights, and then the Atlanteans fall back into like becoming ape men, and then they rise up again. You don't really see that so much. I mean, you could certainly have that be the case here, but that Pleistocene um, encounter table, that's really weird because that does that the first explanation doesn't explain that. Doesn't explain why you're going to have saber-toothed tigers and Baglumatherans and things like that running around. Irish elk. Um, so what seems to be happening there, and there's no real discussion of it anywhere that I'm aware of, that there is some sort of land that time forgot in the Solhout Mountains, probably in the very very center of it. There's a hidden valley or something, and this is a very compelling pulp idea. There's the land that time forgot. Obviously, Jules Verne wrote about this kind of stuff, and I believe H.G. Wells did, and there were a bunch of movies in the '60s that explored this themes of like dinosaurs still being alive and so forth. So I love this idea that somewhere in the middle of these mountains there could be this isolated valley where the Pleistocene conditions still exist. It's cold because they're in the mountains. It's isolated, but things kind of can sort of come out. of this hidden valley. Um, and there could be all kinds of different secrets in there, all kinds of ruins, and maybe an antediluvian civilization that predates the Sul and the Backloonish. This would be something that would be powerful enough that it would have survived the twin cataclysms. And the fact that you have these weird animals running around in those mountains is kind of a clue that might, clue off a sage that could put together an expedition and send the PCs in there or something. So there's really a lot to work with that's implied by just those three entries in encounter tables. Is you got the cavemen they would wander a little further afield because they're humans, and that's what humans do. But then they would stop. They see the desert. They're not going to go anywhere near that. They would see these civilized lands. They wouldn't know what to do with them. And in fact, the people living there, the Paynims or um, the people from the yeomanry or whatever, they wouldn't know what to do with cavemen coming down out of the mountains. They'd probably kill them. So that's why that would explain why they're limited to the mountains themselves. But I think there's a lot that you could really do with this. I love this idea of the land or in Greyhawk's case, the land that Lendor forgot. Um, for inspiration, I'd start watching all those old great movies, Jumanji, those things. You could throw dinosaurs in because that's what everybody expects of this kind of thing. Even though it's, they were long dead by the Pleistocene, it would still be a really cool thing to do. So anyway, just wanted to explore that really quickly with you. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will talk to you all later. Stay safe from Pinkerton.
Thanks for watching today's video. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Below you'll find links to my Patreon, which helps make these videos possible. You'll also find the web store where you can buy my books, and my blog where you'll find all sorts of free downloads and other articles. Thanks, and have a great day.